Welcome back, Wanderers. It is I, Dave, the Tabletop Wanderer, and we are back with another quick look. And today we're doing something a little bit different. We are going digital, yes, because I've got a couple of games that was sent to me by their developers, creators, authors. And the best way I thought to show these games out would be through the PDFs. And because on the tablet I'd have to bring the camera or the phone right down so you can see, I said no, let's just do it on the PDF on the PC, and it is way much easier, and that way you can see it better. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first game that I would like to show you all is a game called Cyber Memories, and it is developed by Mr. Theo Ronsin, and all the illustrations are made by him also. This is a follow-up, not continuation, it is a follow-up. It is a standalone adventure from a game that I played quite a while back here on the channel, which was called The Cursed Hunter, and that was really fun. It is a point and crawl, and I'm sorry if you can hear the kids' neighbors all screaming in the background. The Cursed Hunter was a point and crawl, and this game is the same. It is a point and crawl, but set in a sci-fi, cyberpunk sort of setting. Okay, and I've been reading through the rules, and it is quite interesting. You have a PDF here of the rule books with 28 pages. Then you have a navigation map. You have a places map book, the secret log book, and then the character sheet. And we can zoom this out a bit so you guys can see how the character sheet looks like. Pretty simple. The game, as he says in the beginning, the game is easy to pick up, but very, very hard to master. This here is the lore. I'm not going to read that, so you guys can go and get the game and you can read it for yourself. It is quite interesting. So a quick overview: you have an original cyberpunk universe. It is a print and play game, solo RPG, easy to learn, hard to master. So was Cursed Hunter, and a quick D6 system. Now, the objectives, the goal for this game: you are a person who has been, his mind is fractured, your mind has been fractured, and you're sort of a cybernetic sort of human cyborg sort of thing, and your goal is to get a full restoration, which is recover 6 memory fragments. To hybrid survive, secure 4 components and 4 mastery memory fragments. Oh, God. Or gather 4 components and 50 credits, and you get a new memory on the black market, and you start over as someone else. You have 24 turns, so TUs, which is time units. You have 24 time units to do that. If you don't, well, it says right here in bold, game over. It is pretty easy to get into. You have all the things here. You have your characteristics. You have 3 characteristics: humanity, cyber, and rogue. Which humanity, your ability to connect, persuade, and emphasize, isn't it? I think that is a typo. I might be mistaken. The cyber is your mastery of technology, so hacking systems, handling cyberware, and all that stuff. And rogue is your survival instinct, so cunning, combat, manipulation, and through that. You will begin the game with 3 points in each of these, and then in each of these you have your secondary characteristics, Oh no, these are secondary characteristics: your vitality, your aura, and your energy. Vitality is your resilience, the strength to endure your pain. Aura, your inner force and the visible grip you hold over your surroundings. Energy, the fusion of flesh and tech. Stamina fueled by your body and any cybernetic enhancement. Vitality, you start with vitality 6 plus the points you assign in your resolve skill. And you spend, if your vitality drops to 0, you go down hard. You are not dead. You're out of action until you recover from severe injuries. You can spend 1 time unit to or perform the healing action. Okay, your aura, you start at 6 plus the points you're assigned in your presence skill. So over here you have presence here. The other one was resolve, I think it was, right? Let me check. Points assigned to the resolve skills. So yeah, so imagine you have 1 presence, so your aura will be 6 plus 1 is 7, and that is your aura. That's what you put up here. If you have 2 in resolve, 6 plus 2 is 8, and that will be your vitality up here. Okay. Energy, you have 3 energy slots, initially empty, and this is what I think is really cool about this game. So you have your energy slots. Where are those? I've seen them here. You got your energy slots. So as you play, you're going to roll a pool of dice. Okay, every 5s and 6s are successes, every 1s and 2s are failures. Now imagine that you need 2 successes and you roll 3 6s. So you can pick up one of those 6s and put it into your energy slot. However, if you can see here, I'll just zoom that in a bit. Right here, you have a 4. So the first dice that you can use for your energy slot will have to be a 4, then the 5, and then the 6. Okay, so imagine this was here 666, but you have 664. Okay, you could get that 4 and you can assign that to your energy. Then you can use your energy to re-roll, or let's see, you have 3 unused dice for later. You can bank dice only during the test when you roll more successes than needed or fail. Okay. Using, you can replace 1 die per roll with a stored die in any situation during a test, a combat opportunity. So you can only get energy if you're doing a test, but you can use those stored dies for anything. Okay, you always spend the highest die first. So imagine you have a 4 and a 5. You're going to use your 5 first and you leave the 4. Okay, and you cannot store dice during the same roll in which you spend energy. So if you spend energy, you can't restore that energy on that roll. And then each of your characteristics, humanity, cyber, and rogue, you get skills. Okay, so you humanity, you get the presence, resolve, influence, investigation, which is what you can see right here. Presence, resolve, influence, investigation. On cyber, you get hack, jamming, analysis, and you're going to put skill points into each of those skills. Okay, this is a quick look. So one thing, critical, I was reading this yesterday and I saw something that's, I don't think it's right, but I'll get to that if I remember. You get your credits, that's that symbol right there. You can go into debt, but if you get over 15 credits in debt, you lose. You get components, you get the memory fragments, and you also get keys. Okay, I'm not just gonna go really quickly through this, and because then I want to get into the rest. You get your weapons. You choose your weapons. You have some defense items. You have upgrades, and those are put into the character sheet. You get weapon, defense, your secondary weapon, your secondary defense. You have edibles and stuff like that. Your secondary 1 and 2s, you get upgrades, grandfathers, times that can be equipped in the secondary 1 and 2 slots. Okay, you have implants and the edibles, so probably food and stuff like that. You have active missions, when you arrive at a major place, you can pick up new missions, and we'll see that in a minute. And you have mission objectives. They can be collecting keys, obtaining a specific item, and stuff like that. So imagine, let's go to places. We are at Ultima, and you have your missions here. The first one is find liquid. The Z company is looking for 2 units of silver blood. Reward, they'll give you 45 credits. Okay, and these are the missions that you can get. They give you rewards, and you have to manage your missions. Evolutions. So gaining skill points every time you recover a memory fragment. You may add 1 skill point to any of your choice. So you finished, you get a memory fragment down here. You can put one skill point into any of those right there. Okay, and now setting up the game. Before setting up the game, you're going to need the character sheet, the navigation map, the places book, and the secret log book, and that is the character sheet, and of course the rules. A few dice, pencil and eraser, and an item to represent the position on the map, like a coin, like you're going to be going around here and you need to know where you are, right? That's really helpful for me. On your character sheet, you cross off straight away 1 memory fragment, because you do remember something, and then you get your vitality 6 plus resolve and aura 3 plus presence. Wait, didn't he say it was 6? Okay, whatever. You start with no equipment, so you're going to be fisticuffing. The map, you have major places, minor places. So the blues are major places, the greys are minor places. These purple dotted line is a major path. Okay, how does he call it? Roads. And okay, roads. These light grey ones, maritime routes, so you can go by boat. And the reds are trails. All these little red dotted line are trails. And the yellow is the zone. So you have savage tribes, wastes, the zone Z, and so on and so forth. Okay, now when you get to a place, each place is described in the place. Inside the place you'll find points of interest, terminal, and encounters. So let's mix this up a bit. So imagine we are in Ultima. Okay, we moved around and we are in Ultima, and we want to see what is in Ultima. You go to the places document, and in Ultima you have Golden Streets, Undernet, Dream Zone Market, Spine, and Echo Center. Okay, and you can see there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is because of the rolls. Okay, you need to roll every time you arrive at a place. You must roll opportunity dice to determine which points are available during this time unit. You roll XD6, where X is your humanity score. So we go over here and you see what your humanity score is there, and you roll like 3d6 and so forth. So you roll 3, 4, and a 4. The points linked to 3 and 4 are available. So in Ultima, we imagine we rolled a 3 and a 4 and for opportunity, and this is what is in Ultima at that precise moment in that time unit. Okay, it doesn't mean that in the next time unit this will be up. Okay, you could roll a 2 and it'll be undernet, or you can roll a 2 and a 5 and it'll be undernet in echo sector, and that's how you discover the points of interest. Challenge points, your a location where you can choose to attempt a challenge. Okay, so you go into here and we rolled a 3 and a 4. It says it's the market. It's got a bit of text here, and then what can you buy at the market? That's right there. However, if we rolled a 2, we'd have an undernet. You got a bit of flavor text here, and it is a combat, so you'll have to combat. And then a critical, this is what I mean. I hope that the developer will be watching this. Critic is one thing, critical is something else. Critic is basically what I'm doing right now. I'm critiquing the game or movie critic or something. Okay, I think that he means this is critical. So yeah, critical, and if you do succeed you get 5 credits, and so on. Like in 6 you gamble, a hack, and in Echo 5 you got Echo Sector, you got an investigation. So that's basically that, and the game is more or less like that, right? Let's just see how the combat works. Okay, really quick, because this is a quick look, because we do have something else to see. Combat works similarly to a test, but with additional risks. Each combat has a combat value, number of successes you must reach. So if we go to the places, we had a combat here, so you need 3 successes to beat this combat. Okay, you roll the dice where X is your rogue value. You go to here and you see what your rogue value in combat is, and that's what you use. Each 1 or 2 deals damage to you, so you lose 1 vitality for each one. So if you roll a 1 and a 2, you lose 2 vitality. If you roll 2 1s, 2 vitality. If you roll a 1 and a 3, you only take 1. A 5 or a 6 is 1 success. Okay. After the roll, add successes from the dice. If you reach a required number of successes, you win the combat and claim your reward. So if we go to here and imagine we rolled 3 successes on our first roll, we beat that. Okay. However, there is something else. You could go through this. The secret log. The secret log is another document where sometimes you will see on the places, for example, spine. Flavor text, it is a gamble, hack 4. If you succeed, you go to S17. S17 is secret log 17. So you go into your secret log document. So Thea, if you are watching, critical, 2 different things. He said 17. S17. So we go to S17. We read what this does, and we gain 1 memory fragment. Okay, and that's how you basically run the game. Okay, you can. By the way, as you move along, you will be using credits and time units. Okay, so if you move along the major roads, you won't use any time units or credits, but if you do move along the trails, you'll be using credits and time units. If you move along the maritime route, I think it's just 1 unit of 1 time unit that you use. So yeah, this looks very interesting. The Kickstarter is up and running. From what I know, there is a Kickstarter. The first Kickstarter was a very good success for him, and yeah, it was It was a fun game, and I'm looking forward to running one of these missions or this adventure here on the channel, possibly, hopefully. Okay, so that is Cyber Memories from Thea Ronsin. Okay, go and check out his Kickstarter. I'll leave a link in the description for that. Okay, and the next game I want to look at is also the developer sent me an email, said, "Oh, look, I'm doing this. Just put this out. Do you want to have a look at it?" I said, "Yeah, sure." Dungeon Waltz. So it is a dungeon crawler. A game by Razel Lockwood and art by Michael Galfire. Hope I didn't butcher any of your names. And it is really just a game, a dungeon crawler, where you're going to be rolling pools of dice also. And you got a bit of lore here. And then you have your character sheet. There is a mechanic in this game that I'm quite interested in trying out, and we'll get that. So your character has a rank, and it depends on their adventure rank. And your adventure rank is how much things you do for Rodan, which is the country, how should I say, well, the main sort of government. We'll just say it like that. You have your stats here, so HP, them more or less, you know what that is. Die is imbued to add a weapons attack, so you roll and you can roll an extra one to give you more damage. Damage, extra weapon damage. Mag is spell damage. Grid is armor absorption before reaching HP. So you're first going to take damage on your grid and then your HP. Accuracy, more than, and luck, you all know that. So you have your unlocked die slots here for your weapons, and here are the stats. Resources, ether, materials, because you can create, so craft and repair weapons and armor. That is quite cool. That is good. Medicine, you need kits to disarm traps, pick locks. If you don't have one, well, good luck on you. The art is nice also. Nice. Weapons have elements and attacks sort of weapons. So you slash, pierce, bludgeon, energy, and smash. So each of these will come into play when you roll for weapon damage. Your weapons will have your roll D4, D6s, and D8s. Damage is only dealt on a 4, 6, and 8 from any of those dice, with D8 dice having the highest damage potential. So you roll your weapon damage, and only if you hit 4, 6s, or 8s do you get to do damage. And here's the weapon damage table. So 1, 2, 3 you do 0, on a 5 and a 7 you do 0. So if you're rolling a D6 for your weapon damage, you want to be hitting a 4 and a 6. If you're rolling a D8, you want to be hitting a 4, 6, and 8. Okay. Weapon accuracy. Each weapon has an amount of accuracy independent of the player stat, influenced by the type of dice attached to it. So if you're rolling a D4, you'll get -4 accuracy out of 100. The D6 you get -6, and D8 you get -8. The enemies will also have that. AC is calculated by rolling a D100 under or matching the total AC between characters and their weapons. So you'll roll, and depending on what the AC of the enemy is, you'll see, do the math, and it will say if you hit or not. So it is a roll under. Okay. Weapon creation, you can create your own weapons. Weapons must have 3 dice to be created, which is also that weapon's limit. Each die is also a weapon element of your choice. So you can have slash piece. You cannot have 3 of the same in each slot. So you can have a slash piece or a slash piece slash, bludgeon slash smash. So you can mix and choose, and each of these will have their own dice towards it. So imagine you're using the sword, you have a slash, pierce, and slash, and you want to slash. You roll the D6, okay, with an accuracy of 86. Grid type. So grid, each piece of armor adds a base amount of grid and possibly resistance to a weapon attack or magical element. If an enemy would damage a character's HP, it must go through that character's grid. So you have your armor type here, so you're going to have armor on your head, arms, legs, and body, and then that will determine where the hit is going to be, and then see how much it will take off your grid. Okay. Armor creation, similar to the weapons. So right there, armor creation, you need 4 grid. Materials, you need 4 plus 3 to resist an element, so 7 in total, and so on and so forth. Head, arms, legs, bodies, done. Attack dice. So these dice can be found in dungeons all over and are used to add dice of that attack dice weapon element to any weapon. Similarly to the created or found weapons element, a weapon can only have 2 of each element die combo. This includes attack die. Adding a die to a weapon requires at least 1 in the die slot, which is the limit to the dice that can be added to the weapons. So the characters don't begin with any attack die. They must brave the dungeons to find them. Rank 2 and onwards will give your characters 1 die to keep. So every time you sort of finish a dungeon, you will get an attack dice to sort of what I think this looks like is, if for those of you that have played Final Fantasy 7, this to me sounds a bit like the materia mechanic, where you get your materia crystals and you slot them into the weapon, and then you can do extra stuff with it. So you get attack die element 1, you get a slash, and you just, okay, I want the slash, and you just throw that onto the thing. That's how I think, that's what I'm getting from this. So magic can be created, but you need 5 ether to create the spells, okay, which will become a 6 die of one of the 5 elements: flame, aqua, gale, nature, and cosmic. And here is the grid board. Now, I read this a couple of times because I wanted to get a hang of it. So in the game, and you can see it right here, let me do this like that. Right here, you have a grid, okay, a hex grid. And when you start off, these outer edges are all locked. But when you defeat a boss, you get this one here. You can put an upgrade there. An upgrade, you can have HP +3, smash damage +1, arm grid +1. And this is really fun. And I'm liking this system because you can make your own character, like you make your own build with this. Okay, every time you defeat a boss, okay, I want some more accuracy. Okay, I'll put accuracy +1 here. On the next dungeon, I'll say, oh wait, I need some more damage. So let me get a D8 damage +1, and then you go to the next level. Once you do all that, these will be unlocked, and you can do that. So it is a sort of nice little progression system and upgrade system, and like leveling up system. So as you can see here, locked grids, you start off in the middle and then work your way out. And the game has a lot of oracles. It is a solo RPG after all, and you can use these oracles or whichever ones you have. And if it's likely or unlikely, subtract 1, -2, or add 1, 2 from the D12 roll, depends. So if it's more likely, okay, I'll add 2 to my roll. You rolled an 8, +2 is 10, it is still a no. Things like that, okay? You have an oracle event spark, so when you walk into a dungeon, you can roll on this to see what is happening in that dungeon. You have your verb table, your adjective or noun table, your adjective and a noun table, sorry. NPC generation, their appearance, strengths and flaws of the NPCs, and here is the city of Rodden and what you can buy and sell, and the list of services that you can get in there, okay? Resting at inns, and the rest is just same old. I really do like that grid system for leveling up. You could get added gear effects, visit the town taverns and see what rumors they have, and then rumors for dungeons. I like the art. It's nice. The guild horde, the adventurer rank, so you have to rank up to get better stuff. You can get quests and wandering bosses that can be encountered in the dungeons, and the dungeons of Karun, which is the world or the land. Roll on the type of dungeon, the dungeon name, the descriptor, the subject, and here is the how you are going to make the dungeon. And here is my biggest gripe with this. This is not very intuitive. So I'll have to. You got a key here. So all the black lines are walls, all the brown lines are doors, and all the pink lines are exits. This can be a bit confusing because when you get to here, you have a dungeon moving north. So whenever moving forward in the north direction, roll on this table. It is a D66 table, and you roll on that. Okay, and whatever comes up, that's what it is. When you're moving south, the same thing. When you're moving east, the same thing. When you're moving west, the same thing. I think that these could be a bit like more artistic, right? Just do squares with a door there, wall, no wall, two doors, a wall and a door, you know, make it a bit more artistic, because this looks a bit, how should I say, rushed, sort of. And you could just do like 11 to 24, just put 11 like dash 24, just an open square, and then on the others do the doors and stuff like that. I get it, because this is much easier to do, faster to do than drawing out everything. I do understand that, but this is the only thing I have with this game is this part here, the dungeon mapping, the way to draw the dungeons. Okay, that's the only thing, because I really do like the game itself. It sounds quite fun, especially with the various dice that you can use for doing damage, and I really do like the grid system, that hexagon thing for upgrading your own character. That is really cool. And the thing is to get to the core, kill the dungeon boss, and upgrade. And then you can go through all of this and read it for yourself, get the game. Then they do have a bestiary, with some real cool looking art. There are some characters here that I do really like this imp looks really good. The zombie looks badass. The dire wolf looks really nice. Goblin also. But there was one here which was the ember tail and the iron fur bear. These two I think are my favorite. The ember tail and the iron fur bear. Hopefully I won't get into any skirmishes with them. And yeah, and that is the game of Dungeon Waltz. You get a nice little dungeon crawler with some interesting mechanics to it, and with some really good looking art of the enemies, and a very, 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 very... Oh, I haven't... Well, we saw the character sheet right there, and the grid system. This is very interesting to me. This is very interesting. This is what caught my eye, the fact that we can progress our character this way and give him all other stats. Really good. So yeah, go and check out these two games, Dungeon Waltz and Cyber Memories. I'll put a link up in the description for both of them, and go and check them out. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. It was a different sort of video today, And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you to my members, Jamie, Chad, and Grognard. Grognard, get that Halloween spooky horror video up. I want to see that. And I'll see you all on the next one. Have a great one. Bye-bye.